NASA is facing one of its most serious funding crises in recent history. The White House has proposed a dramatic $6 billion cut from NASA's 2026 fiscal budget, representing roughly a quarter of its entire funding compared to the previous year. This budget proposal, introduced just months into President Trump's second term, targets science and exploration programs most severely. Nearly 50% of NASA's science funding is on the chopping block. These are the very programs responsible for driving innovation, planetary research, and climate monitoring from space. But the impact doesn't stop there. 3 cornerstone projects, Artemis's space launch system, the Orion crew capsule, and the Gateway lunar outpost, are now at serious risk of being shelved or phased out entirely after the upcoming Artemis 3 mission. These were intended to cement the US role in the new space race and ensure a sustained human presence around the Moon. Experts within NASA and the broader space community are sounding the alarm. The Artemis program was not just symbolic, it was foundational for humanity's return to deep space. With these cuts, the long-term goal of establishing a lunar base or pushing onto Mars could slip decades into the future. In practical terms, NASA would have to make brutal decisions. Research teams would shrink. Missions would be delayed or cancelled. Partnerships with international agencies like ESA and JAXA could be jeopardized. And the future of the International Space Station, a symbol of peaceful cooperation in space, could be thrown into doubt as operations become harder to sustain. The proposed cuts also reflect a broader shift in governmental priorities. A new Department of Government Efficiency, spearheaded by Elon Musk before stepping aside, is leading an aggressive campaign to shrink federal expenditures across all agencies. Supporters argue this will lead to leaner, more competitive innovation through private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. But critics say gutting public research institutions like NASA is short-sighted and will slow global scientific progress. Public reaction has been swift, with protests emerging from both the scientific community and everyday citizens who see space exploration as a vital part of national identity and technological leadership. The final decision on NASA's budget will come from Congress. Until then, the space agency faces an uncertain future, and the countdown is ticking.